Hello, good afternoon students. Today we are going to see our first lesson which is prescribed for semester 2nd. The name of our lesson is Appro JRD. Appro means hour. It is written by Sudha Murthy, one of the greatest writer, one of the greatest businesswoman, and one of the greatest social worker. She has described the gender discrimination in this lesson. As the lesson begins, we saw that in the office of Sudha Murthy there hangs two pictures. It belongs to JRD Tata. As she describes her school and college life throughout this lesson, as she was the first lady engineer working in the company, working in the telco company, now today's Tata company. She describes one incident when she was in the college studying her MSc computer science, as she was the only girl student in the college. It was quite creditable that in the year 1972-73 she took admission for that. She was the only girl student. She was living in the girls' hostel. In the hostel, there were lots of girls belonging to different streams. One day, after completing her lectures, when she came to the hostel, she saw one notice on the notice board. That notice, it indicates the vacancies in the telco company. Telco company, now today's Tata Motors, one of the greatest company in India and the abroad. Now that notice, it indicates that the engineers are required in that company. But in that notice, the last line, it indicates that women candidates need not apply. Women candidates need not apply. She became nervous first of all and quite angry also on this discrimination. It is a case of gender discrimination. She becomes very angry, and so she decided to make a complaint against the telco. But she didn't know to whom she complained. At that time, the postcards were used to communicate with each other. So she purchased one postcard which is of just 15 paisa and written down complaining about the telcos and sent that letter on the address of just telco companies. After 8 days, what happened? She has been invited for the interview there. She was very much surprised that the company has invited her for the interview Actually, she has made one complaint against them. But her friends in the hostels, they forced her to go and attend the interview. Not for the job. As Sudha Murthy, she didn't want to do the job in India. She wanted to go to abroad. It was her dream, it was her aim. But her friends, they forced her to go and attend the interview. The interview was at Pune. Her friends forced her to go there. One of the friend, she told her to bring sarees from Pune, that Pune, it is very famous for the sarees. So Sudha Murthy, as she thought that if she didn't go, then it was her own loss. So she decided to go there without any fear, as she knows very well that she won't get that job. When she reached the Pune, she falls in love with that Pune city. Such a good, beautiful and historical city. Very much impressed as she entered into the cabin where the interviewers, they were taking the interviews. There were 6 committee members conducting the interviews. Sudha Murthy, at first, she took it very easily. But when she saw the 6 persons, she was a little bit afraid. As the senior most members of that interview committee, he realized another member, junior member, he told to the seniors that this one is the girl who made a complaint against the Tata. The senior most members, he took the interview with others, asked different questions, and she got selected. She got selected on the basis of her caliber, as she got good marks and has answered all the questions which has been asked by the interviewer in the interview. She was very much surprised. Sudha Murthy, she was very much surprised as she got selected. As she liked the city, she adjusted herself to do the job. Now, near about 15 to 20 days have been passed while working in the telco at Pune. Yet she couldn't meet JRD Tata. She wished to meet him. At that time, the company's manager was Mr. Sumant Mulgaonkar. Sumant Mulgaonkar was a very polite person, a very cooperative person. One day, what happened? Sudha Murthy, she was discussing on some important topic with the manager, Mr. Sumant Mulgaonkar, in his cabin. Then at the same time, JRD came there. She was afraid, but she wants to meet him also. And anyhow, she requested the manager to introduce her. Manager, Mr. Sumant Mulgaonkar, he introduced Sudha Murthy to JRD Tata, and her dream to meet JRD Tata was at last fulfilled. In telco company, while working there, she met with one South Indian person, Narayana Murthy. He was a very good fellow. Sudha Murthy and Narayana Murthy, they become very good friends. After few days, they married with each other. At the same time, she realized that to do something extraordinary work. As the days passed by, one day she was waiting for the bus at the bus stop. It was her daily routine that after completing the duty, she waits there as her husband used to came there to pick her up. At the same time, JRD came there. JRD stops for her as she was alone there and asked her to tell her husband that to come on regular time, to be punctual. Then Sudha Murthy, after spending few years, she decided to quit the job as her husband Narayan Murthy, they both have started one company named Infosys, now today's biggest company Infosys. And so she resigned from her post. JRD asked her the reason behind her resignation. She answered that her husband has started one company and so she wanted to join there. JRD told her, no problem, you may join her, but think, when your company will grow up, when you become successful, then try to give back to society. It is the law that we must give something to society. Sudha Murthy, she realized the greatness of this person from this. Such is the beautiful story written by Sudha Murthy.